Welcome back to the range. Today we are doing something a little different. We are breaking down the walls between traditional powder burners and the cutting edge of pneumatic power. We are looking at 10 platforms that are redefining what it means to put kinetic energy downrange in 2026. Half of this list is dominated by the resurgence of the wheel gun, modern revolvers that are pushing the limits of capacity, metallurgy, and concealment. The other half, we are looking at arrow rifles, or airbows. If you have never handled one, you might think they are a novelty. You would be wrong. These are high-pressure pneumatic systems capable of dropping North American big game with the kind of hydrostatic shock that makes traditional archery look quaint. From revolvers that carry 8 rounds of 9mm to air cannons that launch 50 caliber slugs, the market is evolving fast. We are going to look at the ballistics, the ergonomics, and the brutal reality of what these tools can do when the safety comes off. Whether you are a backcountry hunter tracking elk or a concealed carrier looking for deep concealment without compromise, this list has a heavy hitter for you. Let us get to work. We are kicking this off with the ultimate hybrid, the Seneca Wingshot Two. This platform takes the #1 spot on our air power list because it refuses to be just one thing. It is a 50 caliber pre-charged pneumatic system that effectively replaces 3 different firearms in your safe. Out of the box, it is a shotgun, a rifle, and an arrow launcher, giving you a level of adaptability that is frankly unmatched in the field. When you configure this as a shotgun, you are pushing shot speeds of 1,130 feet per second. That is legitimate upland game velocity. Remove the choke, and it transforms into a slug gun capable of sending massive 50 caliber lead downrange at 760 feet per second, delivering over 245 foot-pounds of energy. That is not a toy. That is lethal force for deer-sized game. But the real magic happens when you swap to the air venturi bolts. Now you are launching arrows at 500 feet per second. To put that in perspective, the fastest compound bows on the planet struggle to break 350. The build quality matches the performance. You are looking at a crisp 2-stage trigger and a beautiful hardwood stock that feels like a traditional firearm, not a plastic toy. The trade-off is the manual of arms. It is a single-shot mechanism, and you have to physically change the choke to switch modes, which is a bit of a process in the field. However, for the hunter who wants one tool to take everything from dove to deer, the Wingshot 2 is a masterclass in pneumatic engineering. Switching gears to the world of concealed carry, we have the Kimber K6s. This revolver has quietly revolutionized the compact magnum market by proving you do not have to suffer to carry a .357. Kimber looked at the traditional snub-nose design and realized the geometry was all wrong. For modern shooters, they redesigned the frame to sit lower in the hand, which fundamentally changes the leverage point and reduces muzzle flip. The result is a revolver that weighs approximately 13 ounces in its lightest trim, but manages recoil like a service pistol. The trigger is the star of the show here. Kimber tuned the double-action pull to be incredibly smooth right out of the box, eliminating that gritty stacking feel you get with cheaper pocket guns. This allows you to stage the trigger and break the shot with precision, even under stress. Ergonomically, the K6s feels dense and purposeful. The grips are designed to fill the palm without being bulky, giving you a purchase that locks the gun in place during rapid fire. While 5 rounds is the standard for this class size, the K6s often squeezes in 6 depending on the specific submodel. But regardless of capacity, it is the shootability that sells it. Owners often add a tritium front sight, which I highly recommend, as it gives you a distinct aiming point in low-light defensive scenarios. It is a premium tool for a life-or-death job. At number 3, we have a solution to the biggest problem in air archery: the follow-up shot. This is the Umarex Airsaber Elite X2. Released around 2022, this platform introduced a double-barrel design that changed the game for hunters. In a high-stakes hunting scenario, if you miss your first shot or make a bad hit, fumbling to reload a single-shot airbow can take nearly 30 seconds. The Elite X2 gives you an immediate second shot at the flip of a switch. Power-wise, it is a beast. It uses a 3,000-plus PSI tank to launch a heavy 376-grain arrow at 450 feet per second. That generates 169 foot-pounds of kinetic energy. For comparison, that is nearly double the energy of a standard hunting crossbow. It utilizes straight flight technology to ensure those arrows are stacking on top of each other at 50 yards. However, there is a catch. The rifle is heavy, weighing in at nearly 9 pounds once you mount a scope, which can be a chore to lug through thick brush. Also, the tank is unregulated, meaning your velocity will drop slightly as the air pressure decreases, so you need to know your holdovers. But for the capability of a double tap on a hog or a bear, the weight is a price worth paying. Number 4 is the Smith Wesson Model 327, a revolver that challenges the dominance of the semi-automatic pistol. This is not your grandfather's 6-shooter. It is an 8-shot tactical revolver chambered in 9mm. Smith & Wesson used a scandium alloy frame to keep the weight incredibly low and paired it with a titanium cylinder to handle the high-pressure snap of modern 9mm defensive loads. The headline feature here is the capacity and the reloading method. It uses moon clips, which are essentially circular speed loaders that hold all 8 rounds together. This allows you to drop the entire reload into the cylinder instantly and eject all 8 spent casings as a single unit. If you practice, you can reload this revolver almost as fast as a magazine-fed pistol. It is also built for modern optics. It comes with an optics plate system and often ships with a red dot sight already installed like a vortex, allowing for rapid target acquisition that iron sights just cannot match. The 5-inch barrel squeezes every bit of velocity out of the 9mm cartridge, making it a flat-shooting and hard-hitting option. It is a specialized tool, but for those who want revolver reliability with pistol capacity, it is in a league of its own. If you believe that there is no replacement for displacement, then number 5 is for you. The Seneca Dragon Claw Two is a .50 caliber hammer designed for big game. This is the 2nd generation of the legendary Dragon Claw, and it features an upgraded dual air tank system, providing 500 cubic centimeters of air capacity. This rifle throws a massive 336-grain lead slug. When you tune it up, you are generating up to 350 foot-pounds of energy at the muzzle. That is comparable to a standard handgun cartridge, but delivered with the precision of a rifle. It can also fire air bolts if you prefer archery season, but its soul is in throwing big lead. The cocking mechanism has been smoothed out compared to the previous model, making it easier to cycle the bolt for a follow-up shot. The trigger is still a bit heavy, which is typical for big-bore air rifles, but it is manageable. At a price point around $820, it is an accessible entry point into the world of big-bore air hunting, capable of taking anything from wild hogs to white-tailed deer inside 100 yards. Number 6 brings us back to pure, rugged Americana. The Colt Grizzly is a stainless steel beast designed for the backcountry. Colt built this specifically for people who work and play in bear country. The frame is reinforced, and the top strap is extra thick to handle the punishing recoil of heavy, hard-cast .357 Magnum loads. A distinct feature is the unfluted cylinder. By leaving the extra steel on the cylinder, Colt adds mass to the front of the gun. This extra weight helps dampen the recoil impulse, reducing muzzle flip and allowing you to get back on target faster. It holds 6 rounds, and that extra capacity over a 5-shot snub nose can be the difference between life and death when a predator is closing the distance. The Grizzly offers a versatile trigger system, a smooth double action for immediate defensive fire, and a crisp single action for when you need to take a precise shot at distance. The adjustable target sights allow you to zero the gun for your specific heavy hunting load, which is critical because point of impact can shift drastically with different bullet weights. It is a heavy tool, but it is built to survive the worst conditions imaginable. At number 7, we have the platform that arguably started the modern air archery craze, the Crosman Benjamin Airbow. This device completely blurs the line between a rifle and a bow. Instead of pushing the arrow from the back like a string does, the airbow uses a hollow arrow shaft that slides over an internal air tube. The air pressure is released at the front of the arrow, pulling it forward. This pushed from the front physics eliminates the archer's paradox, or the flexing of the arrow, resulting in incredible accuracy. Powered by a 3,000 psi reservoir, it launches full-sized arrows at 450 feet per second. It is fast, flat, and hits with devastating authority. The downside is the logistics. Charging it requires a high-pressure pump or a scuba tank. Hand-pumping this beast is a workout that can take an hour if you're empty, so you really need a tank setup to enjoy it. With a price tag near $1,000 plus the cost of charging equipment, it is a significant investment. However, for hunters with shoulder injuries who can no longer draw a compound bow, the Benjamin Airbow keeps them in the game with lethal efficiency. Number 8 is for the purists who understand that old school does not mean obsolete. The Ruger Bisley Blackhawk is a single-action revolver that has been modernized for the serious handgun hunter. The key feature here is the Bisley grip frame. Unlike the traditional plow handle grip of a cowboy gun, the Bisley grip is more vertical and fills the hand better. This grip geometry drastically changes how the gun recoils. Instead of rolling back violently, the Bisley grip directs the recoil straight back into the arm, making heavy loads of .45 Colt much more manageable. And versatility is the name of the game here. This model is often a convertible. It comes with 2 cylinders, one for the powerful .45 Colt and one for the cheaper, milder .45 ACP. This allows you to practice all day with affordable ACP ammo using moon clips, and then swap cylinders to carry full power hunting loads in the field. It is built like a tank, with Ruger's famous transfer bar safety system, meaning you can safely carry it with all 6 chambers loaded. It is rugged, accurate, and arguably one of the best handgun hunting values on the market. At number 9, we have the Hudson Harpoon, a bullpup arrow rifle that brings serious tactical vibes to the archery range. The standout feature of the Harpoon is its compatibility. Unlike other brands that force you to buy expensive proprietary arrows, the Harpoon is designed to fire standard commercially available crossbow bolts. This is a massive logistical advantage. Performance-wise, it is a monster. It sends 20-inch arrows downrange at a verified 558 feet per second. That velocity translates to 325 foot-pounds of energy. To put that simply, it hits harder than almost anything else in its class. It is capable of holding 3 arrows on the onboard quiver, keeping your reloads close at hand. The bullpup design keeps the overall length short, making it easier to handle in a blind, but the stock iron sights are frankly terrible, plasticky, and imprecise. You will want to mount a quality optic immediately. Also, be warned, this thing has so much power it will blow right through standard archery targets, so you need a backstop rated for high-powered crossbows, or you will lose your bolts. Rounding out our list at number 10 is a micro revolver that punches way above its weight class. The North American Arms Sentinel. For years, the biggest complaint about mini revolvers was the slow reload process. you had to remove the cylinder pin and take the whole gun apart to load it. The Sentinel fixes this with a modern swing-out cylinder. Now, you press a button, the cylinder swings out, and you can eject shells and reload instantly. Chambered in .22 Winchester Magnum rimfire, or WMR, it delivers significantly more terminal ballistics than a standard .22 long rifle. It is small enough to hide in the palm of your hand, with a profile less than 5 inches long. Despite its size, it is built from stainless steel for corrosion resistance, which is vital for a deep concealment gun that sits against your body. The recoil is snappy due to the light weight, but manageable. With high-quality defensive ammo designed for short barrels, the Sentinel transforms from a novelty into a legitimate get-off-me gun that you can carry when you cannot carry anything else. There you have it. 10 platforms that prove the industry is not standing still. We have air rifles that rival the power of handguns and revolvers, that have evolved into high-capacity, optically sighted tactical tools. Whether you are dropping hogs with a .50 caliber slug from the Dragon Claw, or carrying the Smith Wesson 327 on duty, the technology is there if you are willing to embrace it. Do me a favor, jump into the comments and tell me which of these two worlds you prefer. Are you sticking with the reliability of the revolver, or are you tempted by the raw power of the pneumatic airbows? Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you do not miss our next ballistic breakdown. Stay safe, shoot straight, and we will see you on the range.